Islam was taught to us through what? Slavery. Now I'm going to show you. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So now, what's your father's nationality? He's black, right? So my sister, if his father's nationality is black, what does that make him, according to the Bible? He's from the tribe of Judah, right? So you understand that. So you will be from the tribe of Judah. So what Moses is laying out right here is, he's speaking to our forefathers, right? So your forefather being Judah, your ancestors was in the wilderness when this covenant was made. So read it from the top again. Now listen to it with different ears. As your forefathers is there, read.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
He's telling your forefathers, if you don't listen to the voice of the Lord thy God, let's see what the voice is. Read.
To observe, to do all his commandments.
All his what?
All his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Meaning what? Your forefathers went into a blood covenant with the black Messiah. So let's see if this blood covenant is real. Let's see if we got evidence of that, right? Give me verse 16. Give me verse 32. Read that.
Isaiah, Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So I'm gonna stop it. If we decide to break these laws, statutes, and commandments, what's some laws, bro? What's some laws of the Bible? Okay, thou shalt not kill. In our communities, we murder, right? So we broke that law. When you look at this sign on the right side, is there murder in those communities? We have black on black crime, so we broke that law. So evidence that this curse came to pass on our people is what? Verse 32.
Verse 32. Come on. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So now wherever you go, your sons and daughters are going to be given to another people. I'm not too sure. I know you know about black history. So what was happening during the time of slavery? They were selling who? Our sons and our daughters. So if you had a family, they would take you and they would send you to one plantation and give you one name. You understand? They'll take your daughters and they would sell them to another plantation. And what power did you have to get them your kids back? Once they took your kids away from you, what could you do? Nothing, right? So what are we showing you? That we the Israelites according to the Bible. This is just one verse for proof. I'm going to give you another one. Give me verse 16. Give me verse 16.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
And wherever you go, my brother, you're going to be cursed in the city. So now look at this sign. We came from the west coast of Africa, right? Here it is that we were brought on the transatlantic slave trade to all these different lands. Not just on this side, but also on the other side, Eastern and Western Hemisphere. When you go to Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, high murder rate. Doesn't matter where you go. When you go to Chicago, high murder rate. There's a hood, there's a ghetto. When you go to LA, there's a hood, there's a ghetto. When you go to New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, there's a hood, there's a ghetto. Miami, there's a hood and a ghetto. And who dwells in those hoods and those ghettos? We do. The ones that made a what? A blood covenant with the Father, right? So now, give me verse 64. Let's see what else. Let's keep going. Verse 64.
Verse 64. And the Lord shall scatter thee among all people.
So listen, it said because we broke his laws, we were scattered amongst all people. Amongst all people. We were scattered against in Europe to the so-called white man. We were scattered in Arabia to the so-called Arab man. And when we got to those lands, when you look at this sign, there was have you ever heard of the sub-Saharan slave trade? Sub-Saharan slave trade happened before the transatlantic slave trade. That's when the so-called Arab men came and took us, and they scattered us all throughout Africa. You understand? So what happens when these people scattered us and they had we was in their dominion? We was in captivity to them. What happened? I'm gonna show you. Keep reading on that curse.
From the one end of the earth even unto the other, and there thou shalt serve other gods.
And when you got to that land, you were made to serve other gods. So my brother, you were saying about Islam, right? Guess what? How did we learn about Islam? We learned Islam through who? The so-called Arab man. And what is Islam? What is Islam about? What? Because there's a lot of different factions. Which one do you believe?
Submit to God's will.
Submit to God's will. How did they learn about God's will? Because what we reading is what? What are we reading? That your forefathers had a direct covenant with the Most High.
That's right.
All these curses that we read, did the old so-called Arab man go through that? They didn't go through those. They didn't go through those curses.
Bring it out.
The so-called Arab man, they got cities like Dubai. The so-called Arab man owns this Express Mart right here. These people don't own these things. They're able to come to our community and sell to us. They're able to take their money and go back to their land and take care of their people. Meanwhile, you work for them, but your money goes into a hole. Your money don't go back into your community. Meaning what? They didn't suffer these curses. They weren't bought and sold on cargo. They weren't brought over to another land by way of cargo slave ships. None of this happened to them. The covenant was given unto us. Keep reading. Hold on. Keep reading on it.
And there thou shalt serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known.
Because Allah was not even known unto us. You understand? Are you familiar with the Prophet Muhammad, so-called Prophet Muhammad, when it comes to Islam? You know how he found out about the laws, Islam, how he made it? He was amongst, give me Deuteronomy 4:6. He was amongst our people. Because we just read that if we break the laws of God, these curses will come upon us. But before that, it says if we keep the law, the blessings will be upon us. Meaning what? The law was given unto who? The law had to be given unto who first? To us first, right? So this is what we confirm it, and I'm going to show you something. Read Deuteronomy 4:6.
Deuteronomy chapter 4 verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nation.
Meaning what? The keep therefore do them is talking about the laws of God.
That's right.
You understand? And we got to understand. It says this is your wisdom in the sight of the nations. Meaning what? The knowledge given to us, the laws, the wisdom, that's the same knowledge that every society is the foundation of every society wherever you go. Because what? There's a court and there's a judicial system. Thou shalt not kill was made manifest to you first. Thou shalt not steal was made manifest to your forefathers first. Thou shalt not commit adultery was made manifest unto you. And the consequences and repercussions. Meaning we knew the good part of it and we knew the evil of it. You understand? So we was able to teach the other nations these things. Other nations took that and was able to build cities and societies based off the laws that was given unto us. Right. You understand? And now, I'm going to show you something about Muhammad. Muhammad, look up Ishmael. Ishmael knew that his Muhammad knew that his forefather was Ishmael. Which goes back to who? Give me Genesis chapter 18. I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how Muhammad knew about the laws and why he took a liking to the Bible. Because as he was amongst us, what did our fathers always talk about? The covenant that was given unto us, that was given from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Abraham had sons, Isaac and Ishmael. Give me Genesis chapter 18 where it says he will rule his house. No. Genesis chapter 18. What's that? Genesis 18, Abraham will rule his house. 18. Read what you got.
Genesis chapter 18 verse 18.
This is Ishmael's father. Ishmael's the progenitor of the so-called Arab man, right? Read.
Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him.
Abraham is the one that taught Ishmael all his knowledge. But Ishmael was not given the covenant of promise. Ishmael was cast out, but he still had the knowledge of what? The laws of God. So what did he do to teach his children? The laws of God. So now whenever you look at Islam, why do you think the women cover their head? Where'd they get that from?
My man.
They got that from the laws of God. This is something that was taught to them. So whenever Muhammad was when he was amongst the Israelites and he was hearing this, he said, damn, that's my forefather Ishmael. This is what we need, because he needed to bring all the Arabs together under one. Because guess what? The Arabs had 365 different gods for every day of the year. Meaning what? There was division. Whereas you believe in worshiping the moon on one day, but here it is, you got another faction celebrating the sun. Here it is, you got some people that believe in this, some believe in that. Could they ever come together? Could they ever come together? If they all worshiping something different, could they all come together? No. You know that's what also happened to the so-called black man here in America? You got black men that's Islam, you got black men that's Christians, you got black men that's Moors, you got black men that's 5%ers. How can we ever come together under all those banners? We can't, right? So what is the wisdom that we show you? We got to come back under this man right here, and under the doctrine of the law, statutes, and commandments that was given to our forefathers. Islam is not it, bro, because what they tell you is about the cobblestone, right? Now, let me ask you something, bro. You an intellectual brother. You read, don't you? You read, you study, that's how you became to Islam, right? So let me ask you something, bro. Give me Leviticus 26:1. Islam believes in the first 5 books of the Bible, right? You gotta obey those rules, right? So let me show you something, and you tell me what this is, bro.
Leviticus chapter 26, verse 1. Ye shall make you no idols,
You shall make no idols. Read.
nor graven image,
Nor graven image.
neither rig ye up a standing image. Neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land.
You shall not set up what?
Any image of stone in your land.
What do they have in Mecca? The temple. What is the temple though? It's the Kaaba stone. And what did they do to that Kaaba stone? They prayed to a stone. Here, bro, I want you to understand something. I wish I had a rock, bro. I wish I had a rock to show you. But think about it. There's a rock. Give it to me. Let me see. You can't even get it. Here it is, bro. Me and you are having a conversation about the laws of God. We're talking about thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not kill. Hell, even our dietary law, right? Can you have that conversation with a rock? What do you look like praying to this rock? What do you look like kissing this rock? What do you look like attributing all the knowledge that you do on a day-to-day basis? What do you look like attributing all this to a rock, bro? You look crazy, right? So the Bible said what?
Neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am the Lord your God. Ye shall keep my Sabbaths and reverence my sanctuary. I am the Lord.
The Bible said don't rear you up any standing image. That's what the other nations did. They had to make gods to attribute their wisdom to. But those gods don't move, they don't eat, they don't talk, they don't do the things that you do on a daily basis, so how can they relate to you? You see what I'm saying? The wisdom that we're talking about was given to you by a living God. A living God that came down to the earth and died for your sins so that you could come back as the tribe of Judah. Give me John chapter...
Hey, just read this right there. Remember we was talking about Allah, right? The origins of it, right? Right at the top.
Abal, Mecca's chief deity. There is solid evidence connected to the pre-Islamic Allah with the moon.
With the what?
With the moon.
With the what?
With the moon.
You see that? It's telling you the origins of Allah is the moon. That's why when you go to the temples, they got the crescent moon above it, because originally Allah was a moon god, right? Okay? According to scholarly sources, these are well-studied people right here. Keep going.
The chief god worshipped at Mecca was Habal.
Was what?
Habal.
Habal was the chief god that was worshipped in Mecca, in ancient Mecca. It wasn't Allah. Keep going.
Whom many authorities claim was the moon god.
They thought Habal was the moon god. Keep going.
Habal, chief god of Kaaba.
Habal what?
Chief god of Kaaba.
You hear that? It says Habal, which is another god. It says he's the chief god of what? The Kaaba. When you go to Mecca, you make your Hajj, what you got to do? You got to walk around the Kaaba. You got to kiss the rock. That's another god that you're worshiping. You get what I'm saying? It's not even Allah you're worshiping. It said Habal is the chief god. He's the origins of the Kaaba stone. Keep going.
A martial and oracular deity.
It said a what?
A martial and oracular deity.
It said a martial. You know what martial means? Remember what he was going into. You look at that sign. What you see at the bottom of the sign? You see Arabs doing what to black people? What you see? They killing them. So when they say he was a martial god, meaning guess what? They was forcing this on the Israelites. That's how a lot of black people in America, that's how we converted to Islam, because before we came to America, we was forcefully converted into Islam. So as long as you know that the origins of this is idolatry. There's nothing godly about it. You're worshiping an idol. You get what I'm saying, bro?
Hey, so my brother, now that you know that, what must you do?
Gotta figure it out, man.
What is there to figure out?
I don't know, I gotta do something, you know what I mean? It's right, man.
I understand. I'm gonna show you something, bro. What you gotta do is just come back to the laws of God. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we were cursed in the first place is subject to worship a God that's a rock. Again, this is the God of the so-called airman. It's no different than the Kaaba stone. It's a damn rock. It's nothing. So what must we do to come back to our God? Give me Acts chapter 3 and verse 19. I'm gonna give you the answers today, bro. This is the love for our people that we have. Acts 3:19.
Acts chapter 3 verse 19. Repent ye therefore and be converted.
We gotta repent and be converted. So how do we convert this mindset that was raised up in Islam, that was raised in Christianity? Psalms 19 and 7. This is how we do it, bro. You gotta, and I'm gonna show you something. Psalms 19 and verse 7.
Psalms chapter 19 verse 7. The law of the Lord is perfect, converting the soul.
You got to know the laws of God. This is what converts the soul. And watch what it does.
The testimony of the Lord is sure, making wise the simple.
Because at one time when we were serving a rock, we were called what? We were simple. Just like you said, if you pray to a rock, you kiss a rock, what does that make you? You look crazy, don't you? So we were once the simple. So now as we come back to the laws of God, guess what that makes us? Perfect. But now I'm going to show you something. Give me Psalms 82:6. This is what you got to know. Again, this is your book. This is your book that the so-called Arab man in slavery gave you, taught you, tried to teach you about. But this is your book with your images, your laws, your history, your ceremonial, civil. All this pertains to you, my brother, and your forefathers, the 12 tribes of Israel. So again, how can any Arab man come and take your book and teach you about it? How you gonna look at him? You're gonna look at him like he's crazy. And that's gonna give you that confidence that what? You can now cast down all these damn imaginations that we were taught by the other nations. And I'm gonna show you why you have that power. Read.
Psalms chapter 82 verse 6.
Read.
I have said, ye are God.
I have said what?
Ye are God.
Read.
And all of you are the children of the Most High.
Because why? This is your father right here. You are children of the Most High. Therefore, if he is a God, what's that? A son of a lion is what? A son of a sheep is a what? A son of a God is a what? A God. So that's what you are according to the Bible. This is what, remember what I said earlier, a God knows what? Good and evil. We had the ability to teach all the nations this. Our job on this earth is to bring the earth into subjection to the laws of God. That's right. You understand? We've been taught lies by this man. That's the importance of changing this of Christ. This is the importance behind this image. He had to change the image of Christ to what? To defer you from the Bible. To defer you from ever looking at the Bible for your nationality. To defer you from looking at the Bible for any source of truth. That's the reason why he set himself up as God. But the Bible said if you're the son of a God and you're black, what must God be in heaven? He's a black man according to the Bible. And you are a God.
What is a nation?
Nation is men leading by example. Nation is family. Nation is community. Nation is children with role models.